Ready to roll. Did you win?
It was just culture. We had playoffs.
Okay. Good luck.
Thanks, Alita.
I think that's his way of telling you better wrap up quickly.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about it. Sorry, Bill.
That's okay. You added a corner this morning, or is that you have something going on there besides Robert being banged up?
Yeah, we just needed to add another body or two.
When it comes to deciding the best five on the offensive line, how much of that has to do with not only their individual performance, but also how they do as a tandem in building communication and trust with each other?
Yeah, I think that's part of it, certainly. But I think, that's why that time on task together is so important, just building that continuity. And the only way you do that is through repetition. So the faster we can figure that out, the better for all of us.
Matt, I asked Steno yesterday about Pratt using his cadence to get the defense to declare. It seems like an advanced technique, but Pratt was very dismissive in saying, look, just every quarterback does that. Is that an evolution at the position? Is that something, because from my memory, that didn't seem very commonplace like 10 years ago, but to his point, it does seem like you see it a lot now.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the advantages you have on offense is the use of cadence. That's why it's so imperative that we get discipline, that you can use a variety of different cadences and you're not false starting yourself. So that's something that absolutely, I think it's kind of a lost art, I would say, coming from the college game where a lot of these guys are using their hands to clap, to get the center to snap the ball. So that is definitely an emphasis, I would say, for all quarterbacks coming into this league, especially I can speak for ourselves in our system. It's imperative.
Matt, what are you hoping to see out of Samari Toure this summer?
Just a guy that goes out there and when given opportunities to make plays. I think he had a really good play last practice where got a free play. Sean did a good job using his cadence and connected with Samari down the field, and then he didn't get tagged, and he got up and went and scored. So just a consistent effort. I think that he's been in there and made some key plays for us in some critical moments. So for him to continue that.
Do you have any better feel for when Tucker or Marshawn Lloyd might be ready to practice?
Yeah, I think you'll see Lloyd out there today for Indy. Not in the team periods yet, him and KT.
I don't know if it's too early yet, but have you structured a plan? Are you going to play Jordan at all in the preseason games?
Time will tell. I would anticipate him, what I told our coaches, I haven't talked to the team about this yet, but what I told our coaches was right now you got to anticipate all our guys are going to play at some point. Just when is that point? And a lot of it's going to be kind of where we're at. So there's going to be a little bit of feel to that. And, we're less than 2 weeks from our first preseason game, so we'll know sooner than later.
Now, what did you think of what Corey Ballantine gave you guys last year? Just how critical was that getting him back, just with the different types of things he can do for you?
Yeah, Corey did a great job. He was in a tough situation because there were a lot of games where maybe he wasn't anticipating starting, and then on a Friday or a Saturday, hey, you're going in there, you got to go play ball. And I thought he did an outstanding job. Just whatever we asked of him, he was always prepared. And that's the expectation, because you don't know. And I know it's cliche, you're one play away, but you got to have that mindset. You got to prepare like a starter. I thought he handled that like a mature player, and went in there and played a lot of meaningful snaps for us, and also gave us a boost on special teams. So he's a versatile player that did a lot of good things for us.
And excuse my naivety, you said KT is back. I'm assuming that's Catan?
Yeah.
Have you had any conversations yet with your team about the Guardian caps and using them in season?
No. I mean, we presented that's an option, but I haven't heard if a guy wants to do it, that's their prerogative.
How has Sean Ryan progressed throughout the offseason after getting those opportunities last year?
I think there's been a lot of good moments, and then there's some things as a whole up front, not just Sean, everybody, we got to do a better job up front. So, but I think Sean, again, played a lot of meaningful snaps for us. He's getting some work on both sides of the line, on the left and on the right. So he's a guy that is competing for a spot.
What have you thought of Stokes and Valentine? There hasn't been much. I know Stokes has gotten most of those first team reps. What do you thought of that competition so far?
Yeah, I think the more corners that you have, the better you typically are. And I think we've got a lot of guys that can go in there and play some good football for us. And I think Stokes has looked like the guy that we thought he could be. I think he's done an outstanding job out there. And CV, he just continues to make plays. He had another big pick last practice, and I just love how he competes. I think both those guys have done an outstanding job, and it'll be a great competition throughout the course of the preseason and as we get into games.
What was your coaching point to Jordan after that pick that he threw to King? Because, it's a nice play by the rookie, no doubt about it, but just felt uncharacteristic from Jordan.
Well, so it was a choice route, and typically when we run a choice route, and I know the coverage was a little bit tight, but if the receiver feels the coverage kind of like separate and nobody's on them man-to-man, they should sit down, and that's what Jordan was anticipating. Now, to take it a step further, and this is why reading with your feet is so important, typically on choice routes, because you don't know what the receiver's always going to do, you usually throw it with a hitch, and he plant and threw the ball. So it's something that I'm not overly concerned about. I think that, we got to continue to rep guys. It's hard to get a lot of guys the necessary reps at running choice routes. Usually it's a select few guys that get those types of routes, and he just needs more time on task, and we got to do a better job of reading with our feet in that situation.
Is that built into the playbook as far as like, these are the routes, and then this route in particular is a choice route?
Oh, yeah. It's called choice for a reason. That's a concept. So, and just dependent upon, we can run choice routes where there's no companion route, meaning like you're basically isolated one-on-one with nobody around you. We can run it out of a two-man stack. We can run it out of a bunch. So there's different ways that we can run it. And it kind of, based on your formation, sometimes the defense presents itself a little bit different. And Ja was kind of not really getting a lot of depth there. And so Christian broke inside when really we should, in all actuality, sit down in that situation.
Matt, are you seeing the year 2 progress you'd like to see from Daniel at punter?
Yeah, I think Daniel's had an outstanding offseason, in practices. He kicking the crap out of the ball. So hopefully we only have to use him as a holder, but it's probably not realistic. But when you have a punter that is capable of, pinning an opposing offense deep, that is a real weapon. So I think he's progressing nicely. Now he's got to go out and do it in the games. But from what he's shown in practice, got a lot of confidence in seeing a huge step in the right direction for him.
2 more, please.
Going back to Galen King for a second, I think when we talked to him about that interception and Jordan, that was maybe one of the first times we've really seen him smile. He seems to be a guy that really just kind of plays with a chip on his shoulder. And I know his journey and everything. Do you still see that in him, that he is playing with that chip on his shoulder?
Yeah, I think, and like all young players, I think they're just trying to figure it out. And he had a really good day the other day. Did a couple PBUs. Obviously, the pick was huge. And he's I think, naturally a pretty quiet guy. But the more you're around him, the more you get to learn the person and see what they're all about. But I definitely have been impressed with how he approaches the game and how he goes out there and competes.
At quarterback, are you still inclined to go with the 4? Or is there enough availability with Jordan maybe getting worked back in?
We'll see. I think that it'll day by day, we'll figure it out. But it is hard. It's harder to rep 4 guys. That's just the nature of the beast, and it's a little bit easier when we start 2 spotting. You get more reps for everybody. Today we're only doing 1 period of 2 spots. So today, like just coming off the off day, it's going to be a lower volume day. We won't be out there quite as long. Tomorrow we'll get a ton of reps.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Have a good one.